Welcome to Mr. English KJ.
The link is in the description. When you click on the link, this window will pop up. This is the SAT test first, module first, math solution. Here we are gonna do 11 to 15 questions. In the first video, I have explained 1 to 5, second 6 to 10. This is the third part of this video. Let's start it. In the first part of this video, I have already explained you about the about section. You can take a look there. About these 4 links, this section, and this is the link where you want to know any information that are important for the SAT. You go to this link. I have explained it all in first video. This is your SAT practice test. Again, same thing I have explained to you in first video. We will start from here. You can pause the video or you can take the test. You see here, the timer has already started. Whenever you submit your answer, always take a look here. Okay, so you know how much time you have spent. I think it was 1.59 seconds. It was divided based on your question and the time that will be given to you in the final test. Usually, we spend 1.59 seconds in every question solution. Obviously, there are some difficult, so yeah, you can change time accordingly, but it is the average of it. So normally, in earlier question, you should waste less time, like 10 to 30 seconds. Okay, you have to finish within 10 to 30 seconds. Hardly to hardly 59, not more than that. Always save 1 minute in earlier question. DESMOS calculator, we are already studying it. If you have watched the previous video, you know, right? If you have done 1 to 10 questions, you have watched the video of 1 to 10 questions, it will be easy for you. So don't worry about that. Let's start it from the 11th. The function ft equals to 60,000 multiplied by 2 and the exponent, the power is t divided by 410. Gives the number of bacteria in a population t minutes. So it is telling us t is a time, minutes. After an initial observation, how much time in minutes does it take for number of bacteria in the population to double? The number of bacteria, this 60,000 we are talking about. How much time will it take to 60,000 to double up? Okay, obviously we multiply it by 2, right? Okay, let's learn it. We know a few things. T, we know we need to double it, right? This is a type based answer. I have explained in first and second part also. You must know by now what is type based answer. Tell me in the comment section what is it. I will not tell you. This is the SAT explanation, okay? It is explained by the team SAT. Remember that. We know the correct answer, but how? Okay? I will explain you in details. I will give you some tricks and I will teach you how to do that in DESMOS calculator. Now this is the question that is given to us and there are some keywords. So the question is asking us to double the population. First of all, the first step says that we double 60,000 120. Okay. Now if you remember that I taught you about these functions, what is this? Total value. So obviously it will be this because we need to double and we need to find this value. We have a lot of figures so far, as you can see here, right? We have the ft and then all things that are given here. Now what we need to do, we just need to solve it. It won't be that difficult, no problem at all. There are 2 ways to do it. Okay, in math, always remember, if you see equations like this, there are 2 ways to solve this type of problem. First, when there is a left hand side and there is a right hand side, right? You can see that left, right. Okay, so when there are 2 sides given, left and right, the first basic rule, you can do it to both sides. Okay, doesn't matter what you do, but you do it to both sides. As an example, I'm saying you can say I want to multiply both sides to 10. Okay, you can do that as long as you are doing it to both sides. So you can multiply 120 to 10 and you will get extra 0. Same thing you can do here. You can multiply this equation to 10. Okay, that is what we do. Whatever we do to both sides, left and right. If you are like, I don't want to multiply it, I want it to divide by 10, you can do that to both sides. Good. Now the second thing that has done here, it was like this. So what they did here, they divide both sides by 60,000. So when they divide both sides by 60,000, so what happened? Here you will get 60,000 and here obviously there was a 60,000, they cut it all, and that's why you get this value. This is the both side method that you do to both side. Okay, now the second trick, there is multiply between it, right? I explained it in second part. And what is here? Tell me in the comment section. Same, what is here also? You need to tell what sign is here, what sign is here, and what sign is here. You tell me in the comment section. I would like to know. Back to here. So what we do, we put this here. There is a multiply sign. What sign? Multiply sign is here. Okay. I told you in first part that when there is a multiply, we move it to other direction, it turns into a divide. So you choose the first method, you can. If you want to choose the second method, you can. Doesn't matter, whichever you like. Either way it is correct. Okay. So it moved here, you will get the same value. If you want to divide both sides by 60,000, you will get the same value. And that's why I said do whatever you want to both sides. Okay. Next thing. Obviously 60,000 divide 1,20,000, you get 2. Now this is your current value. We know the equal sign means both sides are equal. Notice that the base on both sides of the equation is 2. The base is 2, meaning to say 2 is here, 2 is here. This is the exponent, the power of 2. But both sides we have 2. Okay. Since the equation form, now it is giving you something 2a and 2b, meaning to say we have 2 here. Suppose it has a power, exponent, that is 2a. Right hand side we have another exponent, that is b, and that b is equal to t 410. We know that here, the right hand side, we know that. Suppose that we change that t into b, suppose that. So we know both have same weight, doesn't matter the power. Here you don't see any exponent, right? So that means there must be any exponent that is converted and you still get the value 2. What exponent, what power it will be that you use it and still you have 2? Obviously it will be 1, right? I taught you, I think, in second video, the second part. Whenever we use the power, we know we always multiplied 1, then we use 2 one time, because based on it, it is saying 2 one time, right? And we get our answer, that is 2. If it is given to power 2, then we still multiply it with 1 and then we write 2 times and we get 4, right? So if the exponent, the power is 1, that is the case where we get the final value, the base value 2, right? So we have here a is equal to 1 and b is equal to t 410, right? And that's why it is written like this. Okay. Now it is saying to you that if both sides have same base, their exponent, their power is same, so it is highly possible a is equal to 1, b is like this, and we know these both are same because we can see here they are equal. So definitely b has some value that if you calculate at the end you will get 1. If we have 2 as base, so we don't need it, we just focus on the exponent. So exponent is 1 here, the second exponent is t 410. Now we are calculating it. Same thing we are doing. I told you, no? If we have something in divide, we put it up and it will go to multiply, like here. I explained you the equal thing. If here it is 3, here it is 4, you can write it like this or you can write it like this. Doesn't matter. Same thing happened here. You can write it like this or you can write it like this. Doesn't matter. Okay. So t equals to 410, obviously. So we know b is t 410 and we know t value is 410. So 410 divided by 410, what we get? 1, as I told you. So a and b is equal, obviously, because this equation was telling us in the first place. So if you want to save time, you can already solve it. I'll tell you how you can save time in final exam. Right now we are learning basic. If you think it is a waste of time to learn basic, I don't think so. SAT demands basic. When you do difficult question, you cannot do based on logic or based on some tricks. Not all questions you can solve like that. What will help you there? Your basic knowledge. The easier the question, the lesser the mark. The harder, the difficult the question, the more marks you will get. Okay? Now, we have solved it, everything. Let me explain you a few things also. Now it is verifying for you. That is also helpful for you because it will verify things for you easily. Because when you verify, you know that your answer is correct. Now you are just putting value of t. So in ft, you put t as 410 and here you put 410 divided 410. Obviously you get 1 and you multiply and you use your power and you still get 2, obviously. To multiply 120 you get, and you know your answer, the population doubles. So 60,000 doubles to this, right? And that's why it is our correct answer, 4 times. Now this is our mathematical equation. Now let's talk about logical one. It's a type based. You will not get option in final exam. Okay, you will not get the. There will be a box. You just need to type your answer. Remember that. Now imagine what it was saying to you. The bacteria in the population to double. So 60,000 will become 120. How is that possible that it will become 120? Because we know left hand side and right hand side equal. So obviously here you have to get the answer this. And how will you get the answer if you solve this equation? If you have 60,000 and you have already given 2. If you multiply 60,000 to 2, you will get this, right? Then what is the purpose of this exponent? Now we need a value in exponent that even if we use that power, we still have 2 left. We have already know if we have 1 as a power, it will still give us 2. So definitely after calculating this, we need 1 logically. So how can we get 1? Obviously if it is like this, right? This is the only way we can get 1. So we get the value of t, which is 410. That is logical way. You don't need to do anything complex. If you understand the question, you can use your observation. You can do it easily. Now comparing to the first, the mathematical way, the logical way is easier. But you need to learn basics, right? Now let me tell you another easier method, DESMOS calculator. It is even easier than the logical one. But you need to find all values first. Without finding values, it will be impossible. You can use your laptops and computers keyboard to make it easy for you. We shouldn't use T because it doesn't understand. We must use X. Always remember. Don't use T and anything else like this. And there we go. We get our answer. Now you might be thinking, where is our answer? Zoom in. There we go. There you will find your answer. You just need to go closer to it. 410 is your answer. That's how we do it. So DESMOS calculator is far easy comparing to the mathematical and logical way. But you have to know this and this. This is the way to know how to use DESMOS calculator, because DESMOS calculator doesn't understand this. You need a value that is input there. So it understands X only, X and Y. Because it in the graph you can see the graph we have Y and X, right? Remember that. And you must know this, the basic value. If you don't know this, obviously it will become difficult for you. Let's do 12. Now you see the question. The function f is defined by fx, x minus 6, x minus 2, x plus 6. In the xy plane, the graph of y equals to gx. Gx is also like a frequency of, not completely similar, but it is same. Doesn't matter if I use in place of the fx. As I told you, I think in first video maybe. Doesn't matter if it is z, x, y, o, p, doesn't matter. If here, doesn't matter it is s, w, doesn't matter at all. As long as you understand the type, okay, it will be like this. So y is equal to gx, okay, is the result of translating the graph fx up to 4 units. Meaning to say that y will be equal to gx only when we translate the graph and we add up to 4 units. What's the value of g? 0. When we add 4 to the fx, then we get the value g0. So this is our equation. So what we need to do first, we need to find fx, then we add it to 4, and then we get the value g0. The question already gave us an important detail here, and it is telling us x is 0. So when we know x is 0, we can put it everywhere. 0. We can put the value of x everywhere. Okay, it is easy, right? Again, a type based, meaning to say a box will be there in final exam. The correct answer is given to you, but let's take a look on the solution. We have gx, we have fx, we are adding 4 because we need to translate the graph by adding 4 units, right? Same thing that we have seen already, that gx will be equal to fx plus 4. The question asks z0 and we know x is 0, so let's put the value to the x's as I was explaining. Let me solve it for you. Suppose this is the f, we are putting the value already. the x turns into 0, another x turns into 0 because we are putting value of the x. What we get at the end? Minus 6, minus 2 and positive 6. We don't need to put the positive sign there. If we multiply it, we can do either way. You want to do this, you want to do this, whatever you want, you can do that. So suppose we choose this one, 12 we get, and when we multiply minus sign to minus sign, what we get? Positive. Okay, when we multiply minus sign to positive sign, what we get? Negative. When we multiply positive sign to negative sign, what we get? Negative. When we multiply positive sign to positive sign, what we get? Positive. The 4 basic rules. Okay, good. Now we have positive 12 and we multiply positive 12 to 6, what we get? 72, as you can see here. So we know the value of f0 is 72. It is also explaining you when we multiply two negatives, it becomes positive. Now we have gx and fx. Since gx and fx equals 4 and substitute is f0, we come to this conclusion. Because now we can put the value of f0. What is the value of f0? 72. 72 plus 4, we get 76. And so g0 is 76 and y is equal to gx. So we know y is also 76, but it is not asking us what is the value of y. But if it asks us, we know that. Now the question comes, can we solve it in DESMOS calculator? We can, as long as we know the basics. You have to calculate it by yourself that the value of x is 0. If you don't do, obviously you can't do that in DESMOS calculator, because DESMOS calculator will not help you to understand this question. Let's put the frequency here, the fx and other values. It won't find you any answer. You know that. Let me show you. See, do you see any answer? No, it is like that because it is also confused what to do and it won't give you correct answer this way. Okay, so don't get anything wrong by doing something like this. It will be like a suicide, because as you know, this is like a type based. You won't get options, so you don't get any hint. Don't rely too much on the DESMOS calculator. Use DESMOS calculator only to save time. Now if we know x is 0, what you do in DESMOS, you write like this. You know the value of x, that is 0. Obviously it is like a calculation that you are doing in calculator. Same thing you are doing here. And that's why I told you that to have knowledge of basics is important. DESMOS calculator will not do everything for you. And there we go. You get the answer, your 72, right? Now let me do one more thing to make it easier for you. We know that the value of fx is 72. It's calculated for you. But what we are doing, we are adding 4 to it. And it gave us 76. Get it? You can directly add 72 to 4. That's why I told. In some questions, you don't need DESMOS calculator that much. Oh, Mr. Tuck is here. Exams are like girlfriends. Too many questions, difficult to understand. Results are always disappointing. Okay. Mr. Duck is enlightening us from its wisdom. Oh, Master Duck. Sorry for that. Let's start our 13th question. A candle is made of 17 ounces of wax. When the candle is burning, the amount of wax in candle decreases 1 ounce every 4 hours. If 6 ounces of wax remains in the candle, for how many hours has it been burning? We need to count the hours. Now, same thing. Mathematically, logically, we can do that. Okay, let's try to do this. A candle is made of 17 ounces of wax. Okay, so we know the initial amount of wax 17 ounces and it decreased if 6 ounces of wax remains. We know the final amount of wax 6 ounces. Now by 1 ounce every 4 hours it decreases. So the rate of burning is 1 ounce every 4 hours. Now we know obviously we can use T for time. Okay, it goes from 17 ounces to 6 ounces. We have our value 11. So it decreased by 11. Now we need to calculate the time. You can do that simply. 11 is the ounces and 1 ounce every 4 hours. We get our answer. Simple. If it is difficult for you, you can see all the steps are given here. You just need to follow them. 17 ounces end up 6 ounces. We subtract 11 ounces we have. Wax burned, time per ounce burned. You can do that. 4 ounces, 11 multiply 4, we get 44, and that's how we get it. And if we verify it, we do that is other way around, and that's how we get our answer. Mathematically and logically, if you think, you do the same thing, almost same thing, that immediately you do this. You have 17 ounces, you subtract that, whatever is left, you get the actual amount that was gone, and you need to calculate 1 ounce per hour, you just multiply. You solved it. Easy, right? Let's do another one. It looks different. Or maybe it is difficult. Do you think? Well, we can solve it here also. Again, logically, mathematically. The function fx is this. You see the x here? Both. If we know one x, we know the other x also. Okay, because both are same. Model's value in dollars a certain bank account by the end of each year from 1957 through 1972, where x is the number of years, the time after 1957. Which of the following is the best interpretation of F5? F5 is approximately equals to 243. It gave us everything. Everything. You just need to understand. If you remember basics, you know that, right? So what is F5? We know now both things, 5 and 5. Okay. Now if you calculated, you want to, have assurance key. Okay, am I right or wrong? Let's see. If you want to assure yourself, you can assure it like this. And the power x, what is the power x? It is 5, right? We get our answer. 243, 243 and this. If you notice here, it is our answer, right? Now, the important part, we need to find what is right. We know in 5 years, we get this total amount. Let's understand one by one. A. The value of bank account is estimated to be approximately $5 greater in 1962 to 1957. Increased only $5 from 1957 to 1962. Only $5 it increased. Because we know 57, 58, 59, 61 and 2. We have total 5 years. So that's why it is giving us 1962. Okay. So it is telling us within 5 years, it increased $5. But that is not the case, right? Because we know what is this? Total value. And this is time. In 5 years, it increased approx 243. So obviously wrong. The value of bank account is estimated to be approximately $243 in 1962. 1962, 5 years and total amount. Correct, right? The value in dollars of bank account is estimated to be approximately 5 times greater in 1962 than in 1957. It is saying it increased 5 times. Does it? Because this is the value of 1957. Roughly, you don't need to calculate, but you get it. Is it 5 times? Definitely not. The value of bank account is estimated to increase by approximately $243, okay, every 5 years between 1957 to 1972. Approximately 243 by meaning to say this was the initial value approximately plus we add 243. Now it is saying every 5 years we add 243 to the initial value, but it is not. We're not saying anything in the question that we add this to the basic value. So wrong. And we have done the calculation also. So we know obviously it is wrong. Now look here. E is our correct. It is telling you, giving you interpretation. Here you can see everything in details that is explaining to you. Last one. For a certain rectangular region, the ratio of its length to its width is 35 to 10. Okay. If the width of the rectangular region increased by 7 units, how much the length changed to maintain this ratio? So we need to know the change in the ratio of length. Okay. Explanation is there. Let's do this one step by step. So we have the solution. We just need to add a few things there. Now this is our question, right? So for a certain rectangular region, the ratio of length is given this. So we have written like that because that is how we write a ratio. Okay. 35 ratio 10. That is how we write. So it is our length. It is our width. You can also do mathematically, make it difficult, or you can do it easily. Easily like this, you can put a point here because if you divide 35 to 10, you get 3.5. Okay. Or you can do like this. Okay. We have L, that is length. We have width. We have this. But we need to calculate length. So we move this here because it is in divide. It will go to become a multiply. Same thing we will do 3.5 multiply W. we know length, but we are doing something else. If the width of rectangular region increased by 7 units, now we are increasing the width by 7. So we add 7 to it. Then what will be the length? You see this sign here? It doesn't make anything. It is not changing anything. It is just telling you it is a new value. Meaning to say it is making normal W to a little different. So you understand, okay, this is the new W, new value. Okay. And this is also like that. In my solutions, you will see a lot of like these. It is just a normal dot or anything. Okay. It's just like, okay, this is the first point. This is the second point. Remember that. Now what we do, we have this 3.5 W. That was our initial value. But the new L is like this. W plus 7. What we do? We multiply 3.5 W, and if we multiply this, we get the value down there. I think it is something 24, but let's see. Yeah, so we get 24.5. Okay, that's how we do it. Now we focus on change in length, because we need to know change of length. We subtract the initial value to the latest value. You can see down there, it is explained to you. Let me write it down there. This was the old L, the initial one, and the new one. Then we solve the new one here to find the values, right? We multiply them and we get this. So 3.5 multiplied to W, then 3.5 multiplied to 7. Because there is a multiply, I told you when there is nothing between two numbers, it is always a multiply. And then we get our two values. Now we've put our new, the latest one, and the old one. Now we have minus sign here. We can remove our brackets. And we put this value here, and obviously it's subtract to one another, it's gone, we get this. So we get our change value. It's not new value, it's change value. As the question asked to us, it didn't ask us the actual value, the new ratio, it asked us only the change value. And we get our changed value 24.5. Now if you look here in the option, we have 2. It is making easy for us. It must decrease by 24.5. Obviously, it won't decrease. It will always increase. And it must increase by 24. Obviously, that is the answer. Get it? And one more thing. Why we divide it? Because it was telling us something. We get this. That length is 3/5 of width. Suppose width is 1. So, the length is 3/5. And if we multiply it, we get 10 and 35. Right? So, it is telling if there is one width, then 3/5 of that width is length. Okay. That is how we do 11 to 15. Now in the next video, I will explain 16 to 20. Stay tuned. You can join to my Discord, which is @ Mr. English KJ. You can find the link in the description. This is a community where you all can join and share your doubts. You can help one another. You can solve problems of one another. It is like a group where you all can communicate. A study environment you can create there. You can ask your doubts in the comment section. Please subscribe to Mr. English KJ. Thank you for watching.